That's my friend. He'll always be my friend. And ain't nothing someone can say to keep him from being my friend. A true soldier. A true soldier. A true soldier. That's what he was. And he always will be. Let me say this. The struggle that has taken place in the recent years in Benton Harbor is a case in point. One that holds a number of lessons for the American people. The fight in Benton Harbor is a war over whether Americans will have a prosperity and democracy or live in poverty under the heels of open corporate rule. The attack on democracy in Benton Harbor shows that the corporate power structure is determined to crush anyone who stands in its way. It is part of a process underway across America in various forms. After the once stable working class core community of Benton Harbor was devastated by automation, globalization, the community began to resist. The race card was played to impose the open rule of corporate power as a way of containing the black people in Benton Harbor. Due to my involvement in the struggle for the freedom of the people, I have known very few quiet days. In the last 15 to 20 years, I have been in prison in Michigan 3 times. A day seldom passes that my family and I are not the recipient of some threat of death or something violent or to be placed in prison. I have been the victim of nearly a fatal prosecution. So in the real sense, I have been battered by the storm of prosecution. I must admit that at times I have felt that I could no longer bear such a heavy burden and has been tempted to retreat to a more quiet and serene life.
Lord Jesus.
But every time such a temptation appears, something came to strengthen and sustain my determination. I have learned now that the master burden is a life precisely where I have taken this yoke upon myself. Some of my personal sufferings over the last 20 years has also served to shape my thinking. I always hesitate to mention these experiences for fear of conveying the wrong impression. A person who constantly calls attention to his trial and only his trials and suffering is in danger of developing a moral complex. Impression others with that he is constantly seeking sympathy. It is possible for one to be self-centered in his self-sacrifice, but I feel somewhat justified in mentioning them. My personal trials have also taught me the value of unmerited suffering. As my suffering mounts, I soon realized that there were 2 ways in which I could respond to my situation. Either to react with bitterness or seek to transform the suffering into a creative force. I decided to follow and transform my suffering into a creative force. I recognize the necessity for suffering. I have tried to make of it a virtue. It is only to save myself from bitterness I have attempted to see my personal ordeal as an opportunity to transfigure myself and heal the people involved in the tragedy situation that I have now obtained. I have lived these last 20 years with conviction that unearned suffering is redemptive. I have read the book, Byron Stevenson book, Just Mercy. And the story seemed very simple to me. And it's very similar to my situation. My many years of struggling against inequality, abusive power, poverty, oppression, corruption, injustice have finally revealed something to me about myself. Being close to suffering death and the cruel and unusual punishment inside the prison system did not just illuminate the brokenness of others in a moment of anguish and heartbreak, it also exposed my own brokenness. You can't effectively fight abusive power, poverty, inequality, illness, corruption, oppression, and injustice and not be broken by it. We are all broken by something. We have all hurt someone and have been hurt. We all share the conditions of brokenness. Even if our own brokenness is not the equivalent, we can embrace our humanness, which means embracing our broken nature and the compassion that remains, or we can deny our brokenness, our compassion, and as a result, deny our own humanity. I definitely wanted mercy for the people of Benjamin Harbor, Michigan, and would have done anything to create justice for my fellow brothers and sisters. Black, white, brown, red, yellow, all of us. I cannot pretend that the people's struggle was disconnected from my own. We have a choice. We all the people, we have fought inequality and oppression, and we do it for justice. I have been threatened, terrorized, wrongly accused, wrongly condemned, but I never gave up. I survived the humiliation of 3 trials, several different charges against me. I survived 2 guilty verdicts, and several wrongful condemnations by the state of Michigan. And while I did not survive without injury or trauma, I stood strong in the force of injustice. This made the rest of us a little safer, slightly more protected from the abuse of power, oppression, and the false accusation that almost killed me. People were a variety of masses, smiling, my wise appearance, once excited, once mass of worldly sources, success, all in a frantic attempt to convince themselves and others that the act is real. But sooner or later, the play must come to an end. The actor alone and afraid of his own little stage. I suggest to my friends and family that my strength, resistance, and perseverance was a victory worth celebrating, an occasion to be remembered. The established tortured me, but I'm still standing. Hey! Yeah. The establishment lied on me, but I'm still standing. The establishment sent me to prison with absolutely no evidence to convict, but I'm still standing. The establishment gave me 30 months in prison, basically a death penalty for a 66-year-old man, but I'm still standing. Yes. The all-white jury was motivated by something other than the truth, but I'm still standing. Let's make this struggle a victory for all of us. Yes. In the struggle against the oppressor and the corrupt criminal justice system in every town and in every city in America. Let's stand together and fight this thing. You see, during the trial, I was convinced that they didn't have a chance in the world. But my friend Ken said, they're not going to let you walk out of here. He said it's going to be virtually impossible. He said, well, I said, well, I didn't do it, so they don't have any evidence. Unfortunately, for me, they can do anything they want to do. You see, but here's the thing. It just so happened on my wife's birthday, April the 24th. I'm taking her out to dinner for her birthday. I told her to be ready at 11 o'clock. And you know she never do what I tell her to do. Normally about 11:15 she'd be ready to go, but this time, about 5 minutes to 11, she's ready. And I'm already in the car, so I'm rolling. I'm backing out the driveway. I'm heading down to Kalamazoo. And before I can get to our destination, the phone was jumping off the hook. Your house is surrounded. My first question. By who? You know? It's the police. It's the SWAT team. They're at your house. They're at my house? For what reason? You ought to know that. You know, they're at your house. You know, you should know why they're at your house. I don't have a clue. You gotta know. You gotta know why they're at your house. I don't have a clue. So I went on, we finished having dinner and stuff, and I went to the attorney's office, and we sat down and gave the prosecutor a call, and he said, well, he said, the reverend want to know why you got his house surrounded. And these guys going all over the city looking for me and we talking about a recall petition.
Lord Jesus!
We're not talking about me killing somebody, beating somebody. We're not talking about anything on that level. We're talking about a recall petition. They surrounded my house, bring the SWAT team out for a recall petition. And the people in the house, it was, the SWAT team was at your house, you know? I said, yeah, it was a recall petition. So my attorney is talking to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor tells him, well, my attorney said, well, he'll be in Monday morning. It was Thursday then, because it was my wife's birthday. We'll celebrate a little bit, then I'll go turn myself in. He said, no. We're going to get him tonight. And my attorney said, well, I don't think you're going to get him tonight. You can, almost forget about that. That's Reverend Pinkney. Just to remind him who I was. You went to his house, you spent all that money, and he wasn't home. You sent the SWAT team to the house. Shouldn't you have sent at least somebody there to make sure he was home? Couldn't you just ring the doorbell and see if he's there, and then say, he's home, come on, But unfortunately for them, they drove all over the city looking for me. They were riding around there in that big truck, with all them guys in there in that uniform, and so they driving all over the city looking for me. He got to be somewhere. He got to be somewhere. So I said, you know what? Next morning I came and turned myself in, and oh man, I gave it to him. I said, y'all almost got me yesterday, didn't you? But the judge didn't like that. He said, this is the worst crime in the history of mankind. I have never heard of crime this bad before. I mean, he talked about 30 minutes. I hit my attorney on the leg. I said, can I go sit down until he gets through? Because he was on the road. He was on the road. I guess he would call himself giving it to me, So I said, yeah. So he just went on and on and on and on. And I finally just threw my hands up and said, okay. Whatever you say, Then he told me, he said, well, you can't use a computer, you or your wife. You can't have anything to do with the internet. You or your wife. I mean, he went on, which we know was illegal, but they get away with stuff because we don't pursue it. Yeah. That's why they're able to get away with stuff. Anyway, he set the bond at $30,000, which should have been at the most. Maybe 5,000 or 1,000 at the most, But that's 30,000. Okay, so he figured I wasn't gonna get out, but we had the bond, and he was right there sitting there ready to make the move. But like I went to the back for a second so they could fingerprint me, and then I was out of there. So they didn't like that part either, because I was well prepared for them. But anyway, now they had bond me over trial. They had called in forensics. He said, well, there was 2 ink pens used. Okay. That's not a problem. Okay. So what do that mean? That don't mean I did anything wrong. There was 2 ink pens. Okay. So then the trial started on my birthday. Isn't that a coincidence? They raided my house on my wife's birthday. Then on my birthday, they started the trial. I mean, they were sending a message, But I can't read sign language. You got to tell me. So we went through the trial. Everybody came in and reported that they had signed it, or if they what they remember. So there was nobody indicating they didn't sign it. So even if it was, we thinking they did it anyway. But unfortunately, the trial ended with an all-white jury who decided that I had to do it because I was motivated to do it. The only way that they said, and the Court of Appeal agreed with them, I called them Kelly, O'Brien, and Hood. Y'all probably know Hood. I think Hood is from Detroit. Yeah, she's from Detroit. I call them the 3 blind mice, And the reason why they're called that, because it's obvious they was working on something entirely different. So, I'm on my way now to prison. They sentenced me that morning, and I was in Jackson less than an hour and a half. It's 2 hours from Benton Harbor to Jackson, but they got me there in an hour and a half. I was strip searched, and they looking all over me, checking me out and make sure I ain't got nothing up my butt. and everything. They was doing everything they can, but it was amazing. So they knew exactly what they was doing. They shipped me up to Marquette, about 500 miles from the city of Benton Harbor.
Wow.
And the first thing they did, they put me in a cell that was molded. They knew that it was molded, and it made me sick. For about 2 weeks, I was too sick to even move. And then they took away my phone privilege. They claimed that I had made a 3-way call, knowing that it wasn't. But they claimed that I did it. So if they say you did it in prison, then you did it. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. So they cut the phone off. Normally, if I did make a 3-way call, it'd be maybe 30 days, 15, 30 days at the most. But they gave me 180 days because it was Pinkney. But it get even better. Now, I'm having a visit. Dave came up. David Soul. Bless his heart. He's a good man. I appreciate him. He came up there in the wintertime, and the winters are a little bit different up there in the UP. And he came up there, and Dave wanted to leave with his notes. And they wanted his notes. They wanted to take the notes from him. But all while this was going on, they had decided that they was going to rearrest me inside the prison system. You know, they're going to send me to consolidated confinement. The hole, as you know, some of you might know. And I'm in the hole, and they accused me of smuggling. How do you smuggle? They didn't know how to spell smuggling. So they said Pinkney was all over the compound. Pinkney was smuggling. And I said, well, how do you smuggle? You know? And it was tremendous, because if they would have found me guilty, I would have been locked up in this level 5 until I left. So they knew what they were doing. And then I'm in the law library. They calling my name over the loudspeaker. Pinkney! You know, they saying it with a deep voice, you know, with authority. Pinkney! Pinkney! The judge want to see you. Well, I said, well, ain't no judge coming over here to see me. That's what I said. So I didn't move. Next thing I know, 4 or 5 officers come over there. The judge want to see you. I said, what judge? The hearing officer. I said, oh, how come you didn't say that? You know, I don't know nothing about no judge. There's no judge in prison. He said, so they was like, he said, well, come on. They marched me over there. I gets in there. The first thing comes out of my mouth. I said, well, you got to dismiss this. He said, why? I said, I don't know how to smuggle. He said, smuggle? I said, yeah, they said I was smuggling. I said, how do you smuggle? Well, he dropped a bomb on me, though. He went into his bag of tricks and came out with 4 aces on me. He said, I don't care nothing about no evidence. He said, what am I going to do with evidence? You can dispute evidence. You can't dispute no evidence. Whatever we say goes. That's what he said. He said, I rule, here's the good part. He said, I rule on how I feel. But then I dropped a deuce on him. I said, you look like you feel pretty good today. And he smiled. He said, you know what? I do feel pretty good. He said, well, I'll give you my answer at 4:30. 4:30 came around. I knew something was cooking. All them COs, they was mad. They was looking mad. They was angry. They was all upset. They was. I knew I had won. It was all over. You know, at 4:30, you know, they'll bring you this decision. So it's going on 8 o'clock, and everybody, you know, they was mad. They was ready to. I guess they was ready to fight me. You know, they didn't care. You know, but then about 8:30, they brought me the decision that the hearing officer, or the judge, I better call him the judge now, but the judge said not guilty. That's right, not guilty. And that whole place went up. They couldn't stand it. But I learned something. I had to adjust myself, you see, to that prison life. I had to adjust to the people, how they were doing things. But one of the things I did do I always get up. I'm up early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Whoa. And what I would do is read my Bible at 6 o'clock in the morning. But the young guys, what they would do, they would have this rap on. And I couldn't stand the rap. But it's first come, first serve at the TV. You know, you don't have no other option, you know. There ain't no such thing as a turn to this. Whoever get the TV first, that's who in control. So they would get up every morning and listen to this rap music, and I'm reading my Bible. Wow. One morning, one of the guys, he wanted me to help him with his math. He just walked up to me and said, he even called me Reverend Pinkney because they didn't have no respect for the senior citizen. None. So he came and said, Reverend Pinkney, would you help me with this math problem? I looked at him. I knew I had him. I said, we'll see. I said, well, maybe me and you can work something out. And I took him all the way back. To me, if you're going to teach somebody math, you take them all the way back. Adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division. What I did, I taught them how to divide and multiply at the same identical time. He'll say 9 times 9 is what? It's 81. And you divide 9 into 81, what you get? You get 9. Oh, they was fascinated. They was excited now because somebody had took the time out to help them. So the next day, after I started working with him, I'm gonna take him all the way up to geometry. But then he brought his other friends. He started bringing them, make sure I was coming in one at a time. And slowly but surely, what I was doing was teaching them, breaking that prison cycle, teaching them how to think. And I was able to teach them math like they never heard of before. Because I can kind of like work with math a little bit, even at my age. And some of the stuff I probably forgot more than they would ever know. But fortunate for me, I had them just where I wanted. And then here's the good news. I didn't have to worry about listening to that rap music no more. Whatever religious program I wanted on TV, they had it. And it got up to 16, because you can only have 4 at a table. And we had 4 tables. And guys used to come and they want to know about math. They want to know about these things. And they was interested because I made it entertaining for them too. You see, and that's important. See, a lot of times we do things, we don't take the time out and realize how important it is to this person. If you're willing to come there and sit with me a couple hours, and listen to what I got to say, because I'm always talking about doing things. We need to do things. We need to do this. And I used to teach them on Sunday the Bible. It came to Bible study, and they used to be fighting to get a seat. I started at 9 o'clock. If you're not here at 9 o'clock and somebody else get your seat, it's too bad. Ain't no holding no seats, So I had them organized. But it worked out good because they became like my crew. They protected me. They knew that they was out to get me. One of the things, I was so weak that I couldn't function. And they wanted to taser me so bad that they didn't know what to do. They didn't know how they were going to do it. So one day I'm walking down the hall. He's going one way, I'm going another. He tried to bump my arm. If he bumped my arm, they could charge me with assault. And then he has the right to taser me. You see what I'm saying? So by him coming down, I jumped up against the wall. He had his hand on his taser. He said, I almost got you. And I told him, I said, that'll never happen again. You'll never, because I see you coming on your gang, because I used to call them a gang because they all wore the same uniform. And they didn't like that. But that's how it was. Inside the prison system, you learn a lot. You learn how to do things. You learn how to do things that you normally don't do, which is important for people to understand. But this is how we do things. And we had a food strike. Now you understand how bad the food was. The food was horrible. They had all kind of bugs in the food. They had magnets in the food. They had they had stuff in the food that shouldn't have been in the food. The food was spoiled and stuff. But yet they serve it to you. You have a choice: eat it or starve. And that's how it's set up. So what we did, we decided that we was going to have a food strike, a protest. So what I did, I went around asking people to start buying soups 34 cents. And in case you didn't have any food or you want that day, we make sure everybody had something to eat. So we had they had this unit which has the best. They got the best. They got air conditioning. They got the best gym. They got the best weights. This was the child molesters. You see, the child molester had it going on. They could take their food from the child hall and take the whole tray back to their unit. You couldn't do that. You do that, they're gonna charge you with theft, stealing. So they could do that, and they said nothing. But nobody ever went down and talked to them. So I decided I was gonna go talk to them. I was gonna talk to them because we needed them in order to make this thing a success. So what we did, we engineered this thing, and it took about 2 weeks for us to get it in order. So everybody be on point. Because we couldn't have no mistakes. If there any kind of mistakes, you'd be locked up again in level 5. That was the plan. So you have to make sure everybody is on point. And then I taught them one thing. It's an individual thing. Because you have to swipe your own card. I can't swipe your card for you. I can't make you go over there and eat. I can't make you not go over there and eat. That's on you. You have to make that decision. You have to tell the world that you're fed up, that we're not going to take this mess no more. And it was so exciting because everybody, you know how most people say, oh, that ain't going to work. Ain't nobody going to, they got to go over there and eat. That's the first thing that came out of their mouth. They got to go over there and eat. I said, no, they don't. I said, they don't have to go over there and eat that crap. I said, who's going to eat bugs? Threw that into him, man. Throw that up against the wall, see with a stick. And I said, that's what you want to do. Only 46 people on the whole compound went and ate. They was upset. They was angry. They was mad. But they tried to get me. They said, well, only person that can get all these people together is Reverend Pinkney. And they called me into the office, talking to me, and I said, it's a whosoever will thing. I don't go eat your food no way, so you can't say nothing about that. Why would I do it if I don't eat your food anyway? That's on them. And I was talking to News 10 on the phone, and News 10 was trying to say, well, who's the leader? Who's the leader? You gotta have a leader. I said, there is no leader. It's a whosoever will thing. And he didn't like. He kept pressing for the leader. I want the leader. Who's the leader? Is it you the leader? You the leader, huh? It sounded like I read up about you. You the leader. I said, no, it's a whosoever will thing. But it was so powerful. For a whole month, they had decent food. And then they wrote me out of there. I had to go. But it goes to show what we can do if we stick together. We got a long history of trying to do things individually. You see, you have to go out and do what you need to do. And we got to do it as a team. There's power in numbers. It don't make a difference whether you're black, white, brown, red, yellow, whatever you want to be, whatever color you want to be. Don't make a difference. We got to stand up and fight. We got to learn to fight back. We got to say enough is enough. We got to say that we're not going to allow this to happen in our community anymore. We got to say that we're going to get out here and do what needs to be done. Whatever needs to be done, we are going to do it whether they like it or not. And if you're not with us, that means you are against us. And if you're not with us and you get in our way, we're going to run you over. That's right. We're going to run you over. Ain't no such thing that we're going to stand back and let you do what you're going to do. Because, hey, it's all about all of us. It's the future of our children that's at stake. We have allowed these people to kick us around, bully us, and do everything they want to do, and do exactly nothing. It's time that we change the way we do business. And we can do it. Can we do it? 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 All right. All right. I just want to thank y'all. Thank you so much for coming. I tell you, I'm excited. You know, the drilling is still flowing in my body. And I want to say something to my good friend, Professor Anderson. I don't know whether he's still here or not. Yeah, my good friend. He have been